So today we're going to take a look at a team that I played last season for like great success actually, and yeah, today I want to take a look at it again. We're going to have the lead of Torterra, the Sesop of Togekiss, and in the back we have the closer of Bastiodon. This is a super toxic team. I don't really need to kid you with that one. This team is absolutely toxic, but this team is also absolutely broken. It is absolutely amazing because it has so much potential against so many different teams, and as we see here already, the first battle only goes for a few seconds before the opponent had already enough. This team makes your opponents quit, and here we're going to have, again, a very solid matchup. We have a good lead, we have now the safe swap of Ferret against us, and because we swapped out into our, Togekiss at this point of time, we should be kind of fine at knocking them out, but not doing this, we're also leaving here with a bit of energy left, which will allow us then to punish even the Empoleons hopping in next. Of course, they're going to be able to get a lot of energy, which is alright. They're going to be able to go for a drill picks then against our, Torterra, or even against the Hydro Cannon, against our Bastiodon, but generally speaking, we're in a position now where we have alignment, we have the option to go for a charge move against them, and we are in a position where we should be kinda alright, because there's not really a lot of Pokemon that can break both Torterra as well as Bastiodon in this kind of position, and it's definitely not the Stunfisk, which gets completely hard-walled by our Torterra. I do feel like the Torterra is kind of a bit underrated, as you see as well. Again, another Stunfisk comes in comes the Annihilate, and we should be kind of fine here at knocking them out. The thing is here, basically what you have is a perfect position for ourselves again. We double resist the counter from the opponent, and we're gonna be able to knock them out in time. And what we have here now is, a position where the opponent had already enough, so they are quit yet again. And now we are at the third battle, the second quit, I think. No, actually, the third quit already in a row. This kind of showcases on what this team can do. Honestly, this team is absolutely fantastic. By the way, this battle doesn't go for that long, so we just can talk a little bit about it. This is, by the way, a team that I stole from someone last season. Definitely check the video out as well again. Like, it was a fantastic team. And the reason why I started playing it again is because I came up against someone who played it as well against me and won against me quite easily. So I want to give it a try again. And yeah, today we're gonna take a look at it. This doesn't mean though that everything goes perfect. In comes your Sableye, and I was a bit too slow at swapping out. This is definitely my fault. They go for the foul play, and if you're wondering why I decided to go for a friendly plan and I decided to not go into my Togekiss here instead as well, like, basically Togekiss is actually not that great against the Sableye, which is kind of funny, because while we are Fairy and a flying type Pokemon, we are going to take neutral damage from the fast move and super effective damage from the power gem. So it's way better for us to just swap out into our Bastiodon and take up this matchup. And then comes now the Jellicent, which is not going to be able to knock us out by any kind of charge move yet. They have to go for 2,000 in order to have a chance. And they're overfarmed quite a bit, which is fine by me. I'm going to be able to take that hit, the surface coming in, and I'm going to stop out of here. And I don't know if this was actually the right call, because I feel like I should have stayed in there and just sacrificed my Bastiodon. Because I either would have been able to go for the swap out into their Sableye again, and they actually had a move start, which I didn't know. So that is going to be great for them. That is amazing play by them, actually. I didn't remember that they had this. I do feel like I kind of just destroyed my own chances here by doing this. So, well played by the opponent. I feel like this was a winnable battle if I just played it better. But now the opponent is still going to get another move. I should have just stayed in, and I think I would have been definitely fine. So yeah, that does not ideal. And they even get the boost here, which doesn't matter at this point anymore. But I definitely misplayed this one, which is fair. Battle of the Starters, Blaziken stops out though straight away, and I decided to stop out actually into the Togekiss, which seems now a bit silly, and to be fair, this is not the right call either. I should have went into the Bastion, even though Bastion is still a bit awkward. Bastion, of course, is going to be able to take the flying type damage from them, but they have Sand Tag as a fast move. This is the main reason why I swap out into my Togekiss here. Sand Tag is going to be double resisted instead of being double super effective. But of course, I still have the charge move damage that's coming through, and here they decide to use a shield, and that is quite unfortunate. But I will take this as an opportunity to get energy, because I know that they're gonna knock me out here, and I'm alright with that. I know that if I have energy, my Bastion is actually alright against the Blaziken, so I don't really have to worry too much about it. And so I just gotta use this matchup here in order to get as much energy as possible. The payback is coming through. We're going to be able to farm them all the way down. And as we'll see here as well, there's going to be now the air cutter coming in from the opponent. That's fine. I'm going to be able to go for the Stone Edge against the opponent's Blaziken, which very likely going to get them super low. And because I expect them that they would mostly stay in here, because I like this matchup a bit more, I destroy and snipe them, which works out beautifully with a Torterra. And now I can just go for the bait, drop the opponent's defense. I still have my Bastion in full, not full, with a little bit of health in the back, and know that I'm going to be able to win the battle like this, and so the opponent decides to forfeit already, and we can move on to the next opponent, where we will have the Ferret against us. And this is going to be a Pokemon where I would rather have my backline against. And so I will sub out of here. I got them though already. The Swift is coming in. And we see the Scizor coming in, which is honestly okay for me. I should very like the... Okay, both of my Pokemon actually fine here. I feel like it's better to... Okay, I feel like it actually would have been better to go into my Bastiodon, because I can take the charge moves a little bit easier, and I could even still sub out later on, because at the end of the day, against the Ferret, I still would have had play with both of my Pokemon. So I actually doubt that this was the right choice. And they're still gonna even get to another move here, which now kind of forced me to go for a shield, which I don't like either. So I feel like I kind of misplayed this a little bit. I gotta swap out now into the Bastiodon, and they have in the back the Jellicent. I still might be able to go for a Frenzy Plant later on with my, with my other Pokemon here with my Torterra, but I'm not too sure if I'm going to be able to win this battle now, because I'm kind of a bit behind here. I have to go for 2 Stone Edges to knock them out, and I'm actually fairly certain that I'm not going to be able to get there. And again, I feel like it's kind of more the way I played it out. I feel like this team has a bit more potential than what I currently get out of it, which we see here as well. I don't have the right move start. I should win for the Frenzy Plant no matter what, because it's not going to give me any beneficial thing here for myself. And no matter what, I would have lost this battle though at this point. So yeah, good game to the opponent. I could have definitely done it quite a bit better. Okay, in comes Helium, which means we have Bastion coming in next. We are in a good position here, to be fair. I could see that the opponent will maybe try to even align themselves, but I'm not even too worried about that. Like, if they're gonna align themselves, they have to invest a lot of shields here, and I would actually be okay with that. If they really want to do that, I'm okay with that. Use a shield here, that's fine. I should be able to even smack them down here at this point. The thing is, I do have 2 answers to Bastiodon, as we have Aura Sphere still on our other Pokemon. We should be kind of okay there as well. And I actually will risk it and I'll let this move go. It's just the Body Slam. They're not going to knock me out, and with that, they just forfeit. I think it's now like 4 or 5 players quit already against this team. I feel like if you win, they always kind of quit early. And there is a Marowak against us, and I should have recognized the team here early on. I do think I make a big mistake here by letting this move go, and that's the way I played it out generally. Because what I did not realize yet, but I should have maybe tried to play towards, is that the opponent very likely is going to have Steelix and Bastion in the back. I assume that's what's going to happen here. Of course, I don't have any proof for that, but there's a team currently going around that is exactly running this kind of core and combination, so I feel like I should have played towards that possibility at least, which I didn't do. I just let the move go here. And if it's Steelix in the back, it's going to be a bit tough. If it's Bastion, it's going to be a bit tough, and it's going to be exactly what I was fearing. And this is going to be something that is just going to be a bit awkward now. I have the Aura Sphere coming in. I swap out into the Bastion. I hope that's now in Flamethrower range, which it should be. They're locked into this matchup though, which is going to be great. And I'm just going to let the move go. I'm just going to hope that they're not going to have the Earthquake, which generally speaking is not really what you would pack on the Steelix. And I overfarm by a little bit as well, because I'm expecting that they would have another Bastion in the back, and I kind of want to try to time my own charge move to the point where I could swap out in time, but I misplay this completely. So like that is going to be very tough now. We also have to get energy still for the opponent's Marowak, which I'm not going to be able to do either. And so like this team just kind of haunts me currently. This team is kind of everywhere as well, and it's a very good team, don't get me wrong, but it's a team that is definitely beatable with the team that we have here. But I definitely misplayed this team here quite a bit, so sorry for that. I should have played things a bit better. I will be most likely able to knock out that Steelix here, but I'm not going to be winning this battle here as the crunch is coming through. I should have tried to farm them down with a Marowak here, but I know that they would even get to a charge move in time as far as I can see that, so like that would have not helped me. And as we see here, Steelix is coming in next, and we sadly not going to be able to get there in time, and I definitely could have won this battle if I just played better. Like, this was a long battle, and I could have definitely won this if I just used my lead a little bit better, because my lead actually beats every single Pokemon on the opponent's team. I just played it really bad. Okay, Fearow is kind of like the worst possibility you can imagine. Fearow is going to be able to align itself guaranteed here against our Togekiss, because we have the same pacing, but the opponent has a 1-turn fast move advantage because of me having to swap out of there. And so I have to play out the matchup, because otherwise I of course have my Torterra aligned against Pokemon again, and I don't want this to happen. And so I'm gonna go for a charge move here, but only if I'm lucky. I can deny them to get to a drill run against our Bastion as well. They might still get there in time, but at the end of the day, we need to get rid of their flying type Pokemon, and Fearow here is absolutely a devastating Pokemon in this kind of case, but we're going to be able to farm that on in time, that's fine. The swap out, and they're just walling us left, right, and center. They have a team that on paper does not make any sense. You have a double flying type weakness in the back. You have a lead that cannot deal with, for example, a Corviknight. So the entire team already is a bit weak to Corviknight already. Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's not the team that I would want to run myself. It's a team, though, that counters our own team here. And so that makes it a little bit more difficult. And while there were some losses prior that I could have changed maybe a bit if I played it a bit better, in this battle, there was absolutely zero way of me playing it better. This was the best way I could have played it, and it wasn't enough, and that is fine. But the opponent has a very interesting team. Pangoro is a Pokemon that kind of gets a little bit more, I don't know, play recently, and I do like it in certain ways at least. Here, we are going to see the swap out into the Talonflame. Oh, someone made a mistake. Someone made a big mistake. In comes the Bastiodon, and of course, there's no reason for us ever to go for anything other than a fast move down here, because what we have as a benefit for ourselves is that I get some energy, which I can now use against the Pangoro, and I will be even able to swap out if I want to afterwards, which is going to be fine, because I have 2 good answers in the back. I don't really need to stay in here. The opponent uses a shield actually. I try to swap out, but I can't swap out in time. I can go for the Phantom now. I show one for the Friendly Plant. It's just a safer play. There's no point of not going for the Friendly Plant here. At the end of the day, they're going to go ahead and let this move go like this anyway. And I will just try to win with my Togekiss. And was it the right play? I think it was. I think it was, because at the end of the day, what we can do is we can just go for another charge move here, and I should be able to just shield up the move. Yes, we're debuffed, but unless they're running Rock Slide or Iron Head, which nobody's doing on the Pangoro currently in the Open Great League meta, especially I think we... Why do I swap out of here? There was no reason to swap out, by the way. I will be able to win the battle. I think I just try to mitigate that if they have that move, I will still win, which I now going to... No, actually, that just doesn't make sense what I did there. Like, really just doesn't. Anyway, we're going to be able to win this one. Good game. We can move on to the next opponent. Okay, Torterra against Fable. Alright, that is a bad matchup for my Togekiss, but that is a good matchup for my Togekiss. And so we can utilize our Pokemon Chi perfectly, because I should be able to align myself no matter what the opponent gonna do here. In this case, of course, gonna be Trailblaze. I guess I can align myself if the opponent doesn't want to use 2 shields here. I think in 2 shields they might be able to win this because of the fast move pressure they have. That is not the 2 shield scenario. That is going to be a win for us, because what we have next is we have the Clefable coming back in. I can go for another charge move against the opponent, and I have now perfect alignment. I have the Bastion aligned against the opponent, which, yes, they have the neutral, the damaging hit of Meteor Mesh. The fast move is resisted. It's not too threatening. It's a bit more threatening nowadays, but I totally find this going to Basti. I can take the hits. I can keep my shield for the Torterra. If there's a Pokemon in the back where I need Torterra, that's fine. If there's a Pokemon in the back... Oh, they have Swift, actually. They swap out into Marowak. I should just go for the Phantom. Going for this move here, it doesn't make sense. Phantom makes way more sense, because not only we can bait shields or whatever, we also get the opponent's defense lower. And so I kind of make it even a bit more riskier than it needs to be. But to be fair, I feel like we are in an alright spot, no matter what the opponent is going to try to do here. And this time around, I'm going to go for the bait, because I just want to get them low. In comes the Sandtomb. We're going to get the shield. I have to shield up as well. And I'm fairly certain they're very likely going to swap out into the Fable again to try to snipe me, which works out beautifully for the opponent. But this one, Torterra did its work. It got them low enough that I can just go for the full farmland here. There's no point of me throwing any charge moves. If they have the Meteor Mesh, which is very likely, they can go for it now. They do have it. But I can just go for the Flamethrower, and Flamethrower should be enough to knock them out. I go for an extra fast move, but I'm fairly certain this is going to be enough to get the KO against the opponent, and it is, and we can move on to, the end of this video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to leave a like, and I will see you then.